Uhai wetu ni maji, mazingira na wanyama, yote miji na vijiji, tegemeo kwa kulima. Maji chanzo cha miji, usafi na usalama, kweli tuyatunze maji, bara letu Afrika. Maji huleta mahaba, maji huleta haiba, maji ndiyo kubwa tiba, haifai kwa kibaba. Maji huleta misiba, yawe mengi au haba, kweli tuyatunze maji, bara letu Afrika.
Water, the most precious gift, poses nonetheless increasing challenges to people, livelihoods and ecosystems. Pollution, climate change, overpopulation, mismanagement, they threaten to disrupt the fragile balance of life. Today, 20% of the population lacks access to safe drinking water. By 2025, almost 50% of the world's population will be struggling to find enough water to meet their basic needs. Although rainfall may increase, it won't be evenly distributed. There will be too much water in some regions during some seasons, and too little in other regions most of the year. Demand management, water distribution and reuse will be key points. In order to ensure that every person now and in the future has access to clean drinking water and basic services, it is essential that the world's water resources are managed in a sustainable way. Contributing to the number of professionals and the amount of knowledge that is required to achieve this goal is what UNESCO-IHE does. This is what it has been doing for 50 years. Since its birth in 1957, UNESCO-IHE has educated over 13,000 water professionals. These are engineers, managers, policymakers and academics that are committed to the improvement of water resources and the empowerment of future water professionals. UNESCO-IHE students are encouraged to develop a problem-solving attitude. They tackle water problems from a multidisciplinary approach and come up with solutions that are sustainable for their countries.
Our students are an average age of about 32, so they're very different students than 18-year-olds who are attending university for the first time. In truth, in fact, we are interacting with colleagues.
I'm really happy that I'm here with different people from different backgrounds, because at times before coming here I used to think like what I think was the ultimate thing, or the way how people think back at home was the only way. But after coming here I realized for the same thing people might see it from different angles. So seeing it the way they see it is interesting.
Every UNESCO-IHE alumnus has stories to tell. Stories of overcoming difficulties, making sacrifices, developing new skills and working for a better future. Indeed, the story of UNESCO-IHE is pretty much forged by the same energies. In 1953, catastrophic floods devastated large areas of the Netherlands. The collapse of numerous seawalls and dikes inundated 9% of farmland. 1,835 people died. 72,000 people had to be evacuated. This disaster triggered the erection of storm surge barriers across the rivers of the Rhine Delta. The project is one of the most extensive engineering projects in the world. Encouraged by the engineering knowledge which flourished during the Delta works, the ambassador of Pakistan to the Netherlands, Her Excellency Mrs. Begum Ra'ana Liaquat Ali Khan, requested the Dutch government to share its experiences with other countries facing similar problems. It was the birth of IHE.
We thought it was only temporary. We did, of course, practice Dutch custom to be very careful and to go slow, yes. And so in the beginning we made it only for 1 year. And when the 1 year was good, we tried to add the second year. And then the third year we tried to add a course in center engineering. And so we went on from year to year.
By 1970, more than 1,000 engineers from 90 countries had enrolled in the 11-month courses of the Institute. The courses diversified over the following years, covering a wide range of topics, varying from hydraulic engineering and dam construction to water resources, modelling of surface water, water pollution monitoring and control, and water supply and sanitation. As the end of the millennium drew to a close, new challenges arose. IHE increased cooperation with institutions and actors in the water sector in order to reach further, while at the same time broadening the scope of its activities. These factors brought the pivotal question of internationalization of the Institute. In order to remain effective in a globalizing world, important decisions had to be made about the future of IHE. They were to be driven by a new director, Wim van Viersen.
We organized meetings with all sorts of people from the water sector, and eventually the idea grew that we should be linked up with a multilateral organization, because the water agenda in itself became an international agenda. And we had the World Water Forum 2 in 2000 in The Hague. And there were a lot of people I could talk to about the ideas of becoming international.
Discussions with various parties intensified. Eventually, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, emerged as the most natural partner for IHE's mission and activities.
They approached UNESCO proposing that the IHE become UNESCO Institute. In our professional jargon, we say a Category 1 Institute of UNESCO. That means that will form an integral part of UNESCO.
The coming decades will be characterized by an increasing pressure on water resources to cover water demand for health, ecosystems, cities, food, industry and energy purposes. With population growth and continuing pollution, the issue of water scarcity can only be confronted by skilled water professionals and leaders determined to face the challenge.
Very serious water crisis in the near future.
The Millennium Development Goals, to halve poverty by the year 2015, have provided UNESCO-IHE and many other UN agencies, NGOs and other actors a well-defined context and clear targets to fight against poverty and work to pursue sustainable development. The goal's aim is to reduce by 50% the number of people without access to drinking water. Other targets related to health, food and education won't be achieved without access to clean water. Water and education play a main role in both the fight against poverty and the quest for sustainability. The new challenges demand capacity building to go beyond the development of human resources. It is necessary to seek a change in attitudes, an increasing awareness of the fact that without capable professionals to manage water resources in the long term, health, livelihood and even humankind are at risk. Capacity building requires long-term commitment. Success is not measured by quick impacts or fast payoffs, but by the continued enthusiasm and dedication of UNESCO-IHE, its partners and its alumni, working arduously to make a difference.